with people who think like you do, at least on your ideas when it comes to values, what you value in life, your goals, your purpose, your vision. You want people who think like you. If you're an overly ambitious person and your mate is not, that may be a conflict. If you're into traveling and your mate is not, that may be conflict. So
yeah, I want just to add, just to kind of close on it, is like the way I look at an educated woman is like it's going to strengthen the outcome that my kids are going to be just as ambitious, just as pursue education just as hard. I would tread lightly on people who didn't value education, because that's going to again have that same possible impact where my kids are going to not be as ambitious. I value an educated / ambitious woman. So the narrative of
some people don't value ambition.
I don't.
So that wouldn't work for you if you had somebody who wasn't ambitious and who didn't have the same values. You have to pick people who value the same thing you value.
Right.
Yeah, but can we be a little bit more honest though?
That's honest.
No, I'm saying, can we be? I'm about to say what I'm about. We need to be.
Yeah.
We need to be more honest. That even though Miss Taken has articulated, and what we probably will all agree, what true education is, that's not the going talking point or belief of what education is. People think, and the stats that you're tracking ain't somebody being well read, well rounded. They're talking about degrees.
Not
that is the
necessarily.
standard of quote unquote being educated.
Well,
but anybody that knows,
I don't think that's true. Let me just tell you this.
No, regarding studies, he is correct.
So what I'm talking about in reality, think about it like this.
Women don't operate in reality all the time.
Listen, so you telling me a lot of the smartest people, like for example, I think Bill Gates is super smart, did not finish college. Okay, do you really think somebody is gonna battle his intellect here?
Yes.
Like, no.
People are arrogant.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying this is why I said we need to be honest. As much as we can have a reasonable conversation amongst us, right? We know just as well that people don't look at education in a well-rounded idea when they're having conversations on the street. You know darn well that when education is mentioned, that means degrees. And if you do not have degrees, you cannot be talking to me, because anybody will also tell you what you also begin to kind of learn when you're in school, especially on a collegiate level. You learn class. You learn hierarchy, right? You learn a system that tells you in your brain, which is why the guys might be pushing back on saying, hey, your education might be a barrier for you, because once you continue to think that you have a certain status, now your mentality changes. You're like, well, shoot, I'm above you because I have this degree, right? And that's the subconscious thing that goes in some people's mind, that just because you have a degree, you're better than the other person who does.
I just want to push back a little bit, HD. If you take the education out of that and you just say a woman who has high standards, she's going to also kind of, to people who are well below her standards, they're going to think, man, she's just very conceited, or she's just very egotistical, or she feels like she's better than everybody. No, she just wants to operate on a certain type of level. There's nothing wrong with that. So like the women who are educated, who require,
I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's wrong.
I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that people, whether we like it or not, society runs on class. Okay,
right.
We didn't make that up. It came with the program. You feel me? And so people work hard to be of a certain class.
Correct.
So nobody who's worked hard to be, and I said this before, be of a certain class wants to be knocked down because of their mate choice. I think that that's what men, or you can mess the whole thing up by choosing the wrong mate. You understand what I'm saying? Even when it comes to the kids, your legacy, what you want that to look like. Choosing the wrong mate can change things. I'm sure you didn't go to Morehouse, get your degrees, do all these things just to choose a mate who's gonna kill all that. Right? So I think that has a lot. I think he has a point when it comes to, you know, sometimes they do think that there is a, you know, but I would even say that sometimes people who didn't go to college, still there's a class thing, right? Because they may look down on people who are other types
Yeah.
of people.
So
So,
can I interject for a second, Shan?
mhm.
I think the most important thing for the black people to get together is to realize you're not better than what you actually are. If we would just have a more humble approach, no
I, I,
matter
I
what,
fail to believe. I think that Black people are better than they claim to that we see ourselves as. I would never. I think that Black people don't look in the mirror and see themselves as the people that they really are. I think too much we sit here talking about, oh, you not that great. I think Black people are some great people. We just don't know
yeah,
how to use our greatness. Don't sit here on here talking about we ain't great. Negative. We are great people.
what I'm
All of
trying
us.
to articulate is that if you think that you know, you begin to find out the more you learn, you have no idea. And that you can understand that the world is much bigger than your perception of yourself. We can say that you have utility, that you have greatness in you, that you're a leader, that you're integral into growing the community. That's not what I'm saying, that you're not better than what you actually are. What I'm saying is there's always something out there to humble you. No matter
Mm.
how
Oh,
far or
that's
how
true, guys.
educated, how smart, how in shape, how much money, there's always something on the other side that can show you that you're still just a human being. And you can only get so far in life by yourself. Even in all the accomplishments that both men and women have achieved, somebody else was there to help them to grow to that point. If you need to get to work, somebody built the car that you didn't build. If I need to build a house, somebody built a tool that I did not build. Nobody exists to be great without somebody else giving a hand. And if we just understand, like, yo, we're better together than we are apart, we might actually get somewhere. But because of the mentality that we have, it's going to be much harder to accomplish because we both think that we know better.
Well, I agree with that, HD. But what I'm trying to say is like I like the fact that Shan brought up the fact of class. Like we gotta maybe not look at someone who aspires to or is in a higher class and see that as a negative. I think that when I'm hearing some of these stories, it sounds like the guys have feel some type of way about the woman who aspires, demands, or is in a higher class than them, and they're trying to bring her down. She's not coming down. He or she is not coming down. They're there, and if you're not compatible in that, or you don't agree to of what it's going to take to operate in that class, I think that's where a lot of this issue is coming from. People trying to mix with different classes.